When I say a woman should always hide her deepest insecurities, I don't mean she should bury them, pretend they don't exist, or carry the weight of them alone forever. No, that's not what I mean. What I'm saying is this: the world doesn't need access to the tender parts of your soul. Not everyone who asks about your struggles deserves to know the answers. Because once you give people a roadmap to your vulnerabilities, you're also handing them the keys to your emotional safety. And the hard truth is, not everyone will treat that with care. Think about it. How many times in your life have you opened up, shared something that was deeply personal, only to have it used against you later? Maybe someone threw it back in your face during an argument, or they spread it like gossip when you trusted them to hold it close. That sting is unforgettable, isn't it? Because it's not just about the secret you shared, it's about the trust you placed in someone who didn't know how to honor it. Here's what I've learned. Your insecurities are sacred ground. They're the unpolished, raw parts of who you are, and those parts are still in progress, still healing, still becoming. When you expose them to the wrong eyes, you risk having them trampled on before they've had a chance to grow into strength. And let me tell you, the wrong people don't need much. All they need is one piece of your doubt, one little window into your fear, and suddenly they can control you, manipulate you, or silence you with it. That's why confidence isn't about never feeling insecure. It's about protecting those insecurities until you've built the strength to rise above them. You don't have to tell everyone what keeps you up at night. You don't have to explain what makes you feel less than. Because if you keep that private, if you guard that space like it's a treasure chest, then no one can touch it, no one can weaponize it, no one can dim your light with the very shadows you're trying to outgrow. And here's the beauty of it: the less you give people access to your insecurities, the more power you keep in your own hands. You walk into a room differently. You carry yourself with dignity. You don't shrink when someone questions you because they don't know where your soft spots are. They can't aim for the places you've never revealed. That's what makes you unshakable. Not because you don't have insecurities, but because nobody else can use them to steer your life. Now, this doesn't mean you never share. We all need someone. It's human to lean on people, to have a safe space where you can let it out. But the key word there is safe. That space has to be earned, tested, proven. Not everyone who asks you to open up has the character to carry what you give them. So choose wisely. Maybe it's a mentor, maybe it's a lifelong friend, maybe it's family. But remember, your insecurities deserve a vault, not a billboard. And let me say this too. Sometimes you're not even hiding your insecurities from others. You're hiding them from yourself. You disguise them with jokes, you cover them with overachievement, or you mask them with silence. But ignoring them isn't the same as protecting them. Protecting means acknowledging them, working on them, and being careful about who gets to see them while you're still in process. Because here's the truth: the strongest women aren't the ones without insecurities. They're the ones who refuse to let those insecurities define how others treat them. They don't put their fears on display for anyone to dissect or criticize. They guard them like gold. They nurture themselves in private, and they walk in public with a grace that makes people wonder, what's her secret? So, when you're tempted to spill every detail of your self-doubt, pause. When someone presses you for the things that hurt you most, take a step back and ask yourself, do they deserve to know this part of me? Because once it's out there, you can't take it back. Protect yourself. Protect your peace. Protect your power. Because in this world, silence about your insecurities isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And the woman who learns to guard her deepest wounds is the woman no one can ever truly break. Do you want me to keep this same length and tone for each of the other key points too, so they flow like a complete speech? There's something powerful about dreams. They're not just ideas floating around in your head, they're glimpses of the life you were meant to live. But here's the thing, dreams are fragile in the beginning. They're like sparks, small flames that need protecting before they can grow into a fire. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is telling the wrong people too much, too soon. You ever notice how the moment you share a dream, somebody has an opinion about it? You tell them what you're reaching for, and suddenly they're an expert in why it won't work. They'll say, "That's too hard. That's unrealistic. People like us don't do things like that." And if you're not careful, their doubts become your doubts. Their voice becomes louder than your own. And before long, you start talking yourself out of something that was never meant for them to understand in the first place. See, not everybody clapping for you actually wants you to win. Some are clapping because they're watching, curious to see if you'll fall. Others clap just enough to keep you comfortable, never enough to push you forward. That's why you have to learn to protect your dreams. Because the wrong people won't just discourage you. They'll drain you. They'll poke holes in your excitement, and little by little, that fire inside you starts to flicker. Your dreams aren't meant to be explained to everyone. They're meant to be pursued, protected, and proven. Think about it. When a seed is planted, it's covered, hidden in the soil. Nobody sees what's happening underground, but that's where the growth is taking place. Your dreams are just like that seed. If you dig it up too soon, show it off before the roots are strong, it won't survive. But if you let it grow in silence, in private, by the time it breaks through the surface, it's too strong for anyone to tear down. And here's another truth. Sometimes people can't see your dreams because they can't see themselves doing it. They project their own limitations onto you. If they've settled for less, they expect you to settle too. If they gave up on their own goals, they want you to give up on yours. That's not because you can't achieve it. It's because they couldn't. And there's a big difference. That's why you can't hand everyone front row seats to your vision. Some people only deserve a ticket when the show is finished, when the dream is already alive. Until then, guard it, water it, build it in silence, because your dreams don't need validation to be real. They don't need applause to grow. They need you, your consistency, your faith, your focus. And don't confuse silence with fear. Keeping your dreams private doesn't mean you're scared. It means you're strategic. It means you understand that not everyone deserves access to your blueprint. You don't owe explanations to people who wouldn't understand your journey anyway. You don't have to justify your ambition to people who aren't willing to take risks themselves. The day will come when your results speak louder than your explanations ever could, when the people who doubted you will be the same people asking, "How did you do it?" And the answer will be simple. You kept it to yourself until it was undeniable. You didn't let their doubt poison your belief. You didn't let their fear sabotage your faith. You let your dream grow in silence until it was too big to ignore. So the next time you feel that excitement bubbling inside you, that vision that makes your heart race, remember this: not everyone deserves to know. Not everyone can handle it. Some people only see with their eyes, they can't see with faith. Don't let their blindness make you doubt your own vision. Keep your dreams close. Protect them like treasure. Let them grow strong in the dark, so that when they finally come into the light, they shine with a brilliance no one can dim. Because the loudest dreamers don't always win. It's the quiet ones, the ones who work in silence, who guard their vision, who move with purpose. Those are the ones who make the world stop and pay attention. And when that moment comes for you, trust me, no opinion, no doubt, no voice will ever be able to silence the roar of a dream fulfilled. Money. It's one of those things that everyone talks about, yet few understand its real power. And when it comes to a woman, how she handles her finances can define the level of freedom, dignity, and control she has in her life. That's why one of the most important things a woman should always hide is the true extent of her financial reality. Not because she should be secretive out of shame, but because the world has a way of using what you reveal against you. Think about it. How many times have you met someone who suddenly became interested, the moment they learned about your wealth, or your lack of it. Money has a strange way of attracting people who aren't really there for you, and it also attracts people who quietly envy you. When you make your financial life public, you're giving people the ability to influence your decisions, manipulate your choices, and even take advantage of your generosity. They see what you have or don't have, and they start measuring you against it instead of seeing you for who you really are. And it's not just about wealth, it's about independence. Financial freedom is a kind of armor. When you reveal the state of your finances, you allow the world to chip away at that armor. People start to believe they can push you, control you, or define your limits. But when you keep it private, you remain untouchable. You make your choices on your own terms. You decide what to spend, what to save, and what risks to take without having to answer to anyone who doesn't truly understand your journey. There's also a certain power in mystery. Think about the strongest, most successful women you know. They rarely reveal their full financial picture, not because they're hiding something, but because they understand that some things are best experienced, not explained. Money in the wrong hands can become a weapon, a tool to manipulate, or a reason to underestimate you. When you keep it private, it stops being a point of vulnerability and becomes a point of strength. It's also about respect. When people don't know the full picture of what you have or what you've struggled to earn, they're forced to treat you based on who you are, not what you own. They respect your mind, your heart, your character. They can't see you as just a bank account to draw from or a target to judge. Your financial privacy becomes a shield, allowing people to connect with the real you, not the version shaped by numbers in an account or the possessions you display. And here's the deeper truth, your finances are intimately connected to your choices, your freedom, and your potential. If you reveal too much, you open yourself up to influence, advice, and judgment from people who don't understand your goals, your sacrifices, or your vision. The wrong advice can derail you. The wrong expectation can trap you. The wrong observation can plant seeds of doubt. But when you guard it, you move through life with clarity. You make decisions that serve you, not the noise around you. Protecting your financial reality doesn't mean being dishonest. It means being strategic. It means knowing what to share and with whom. Family, close friends, mentors, those who have earned your trust, may see parts of it. But casual acquaintances, coworkers, social media followers, people who only skim the surface of your life, they don't get to know. You don't owe anyone an accounting of your battles or your victories. Your money, your struggles, your successes, they are your story to tell when and if you choose. And there's a subtle beauty in that protection. When you keep your financial life private, you give yourself room to grow without interference. You get to experiment, to fail, to learn, to rise again, all without the weight of external judgment. Your wealth, or your lack of it, becomes a private conversation between you and your own ambitions, not a public debate for others to weigh in on. So, remember this, the way you handle your money is more than just numbers. It's a statement about your independence, your dignity, and your power. Keep it private. Guard it like a treasure. Let no one use it to measure your worth, define your limits, or control your choices. Because a woman who protects her financial reality is a woman who can walk through the world untouchable, unshackable, and unstoppable. In the end, true strength isn't shown by what you display, it's revealed in what you quietly protect, nurture, and grow without asking anyone's permission. There's a truth that most people never fully understand. Pain is personal. Every scar, every heartbreak, every struggle carries a weight that only the person experiencing it can truly know. And yet too often, we feel pressure to share our suffering, to make it visible to the world, as if silence is weakness. But the reality is the opposite. Some things in life are far too precious, far too raw, to be displayed for the eyes of those who might not honor them. That's why one of the things a woman should always hide is the depth of her pain. Pain, when exposed carelessly, becomes a weapon in the hands of others. People might use it to manipulate you, to shame you, or to pity you. And while sympathy may feel comforting for a moment, it often comes with strings attached. People who only see your wounds don't see your strength. They see a target, a vulnerability they can exploit. Sharing your pain with the wrong person is like handing them the keys to a part of your soul that you haven't yet fully healed. Healing is not a performance. You don't owe anyone a front row seat to your struggles. You don't have to explain why your heart aches or why your spirit feels heavy. Those who truly care will recognize your strength without needing the details. And those who would judge, gossip, or exploit will never understand no matter how much you share. Protecting your pain is not isolation, it's empowerment. It's claiming ownership over your own story and refusing to let anyone else rewrite it. There's a quiet power and resilience that few understand. When you experience suffering and keep it sacred, you're able to process it on your terms. You're able to turn it into wisdom, into growth, into a strength that radiates from within rather than being handed out for validation. People are drawn to strength, not to pity. And when your pain remains yours, it fuels your courage, your clarity, and your ability to navigate life without being weighed down by other people's judgments. Consider this: not every burden should be shared. Some scars are meant to be private teachers, guiding you, shaping you, helping you understand who you are and what you can endure. The moment you reveal them to the wrong eyes, they lose their sacred purpose. They no longer teach. They become something for others to comment on, dissect, or masseuse. The depth of your pain is a reservoir of strength that only becomes more powerful when it is protected and understood in the right space. And it's not just about others, it's about respect for yourself. A woman who guards her pain sets the standard for how she is treated. She communicates, without words, that her experiences are valuable, her emotions are not trivial, and her heart is not a playground for anyone's curiosity. When you protect your pain, you honor it. You honor yourself. You refuse to allow it to be cheapened or exploited by anyone who doesn't have the right to witness it. Of course, there is a place for sharing, but it must be deliberate and intentional. It should be with those who have earned your trust, who have proven themselves capable of holding space for you without judgment or betrayal. A mentor, a close friend, a confidant, these are the people who can witness your pain without diminishing your power. For everyone else, your struggles remain your own, a quiet force shaping the person you are becoming. And there's another truth here: people often underestimate those who carry their pain silently. They think that someone who doesn't broadcast their suffering is weak, fragile, or unaffected. The opposite is true. There is a fierce courage in keeping your struggles private, in walking through the world with grace, even when your heart aches. It is a power that cannot be measured, a strength that commands respect without a single word. So when you feel that pain stirring inside you, when memories or experiences threaten to overwhelm you, remember that you do not have to share it to survive. You do not have to explain it to anyone to be valid. Protect it, nurture it, understand it. Let it teach you, shape you, and ultimately transform you into a woman who is unbreakable, not because she has never hurt, but because she has learned to guard what is sacred and use it to rise higher than she ever imagined. Because a woman who keeps the depth of her pain close is a woman who cannot be diminished, who cannot be controlled, and who carries within her a quiet, unstoppable power that no one can ever take away. Relationships are some of the most beautiful and complicated parts of life. They can lift us, inspire us, and teach us more about ourselves than anything else. But they can also be fragile, and they require careful tending, trust, and protection. One of the most important things a woman should always hide is the struggles she faces within her relationships. Not because she is dishonest, but because some battles are meant to be private and some lessons are meant to be learned without the interference of outsiders. When you share the cracks in your relationship too openly, you risk inviting opinions, judgments, and interference from people who don't truly understand the heart of your connection. Everyone has advice, some good, some misguided, and some that can quietly poison your bond if given at the wrong time. Friends, family, even casual acquaintances often think they know what's best, but they don't live in the quiet, intimate moments where love is tested and nurtured. Only you and your partner truly know that terrain. Relationships are delicate, and the more you expose the faults, the more susceptible they become to damage. Once a struggle is shared, it often ceases to be yours alone. Others begin to see it as theirs, a story to comment on, a problem to weigh in on, a puzzle to solve without the context that only comes from living it. When you guard those struggles, you take back the power. You choose the narrative, the pace, and the outcome. You protect not just your dignity, but the integrity of the bond you're building. And here's the subtle truth. Sharing every detail of a relationship struggle rarely helps the relationship itself. It often creates more noise than clarity. The people you turn to may listen with concern, but concern can quickly turn into judgment. Sympathy can feel supportive, but it rarely strengthens the foundation of love. By keeping your challenges private, you allow yourself and your partner to work through them without outside influence, without pressure, and without the distortion that comes when others try to rewrite your story. This isn't about secrecy for the sake of secrecy. It's about strategy, about understanding that some parts of life are sacred. Your relationship, your love, and your partnership deserve the same kind of protection you give to your deepest dreams and your most personal struggles. Not everything needs to be broadcast. Not every fight needs an audience. Not every tear needs a witness. Some moments are meant to be shared only with the person standing beside you in the quiet of the room, away from the noise of the world. There's also a dignity in privacy. When people don't have access to every conflict, every doubt, and every insecurity, they are forced to respect the bond on its own terms. They cannot judge it, manipulate it, or undermine it. They see only the strength you allow them to see, not the vulnerabilities that could weaken their perception of you. And in that strength, you gain freedom. The freedom to handle challenges, to make decisions, and to grow as a couple without external interference. And remember, relationships thrive on trust and discretion. When you share too much with the wrong people, you risk losing that trust in a way that isn't just temporary. It can become a permanent fissure. Words said in confidence can be repeated, advice can be misapplied, opinions can be turned into pressure, and suddenly the very thing you were trying to protect is weakened, not strengthened. The strength of a relationship often lies in what is held close, not in what is displayed for approval. Hiding your struggles doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means handling the challenges with intelligence, maturity, and discretion. It means taking the time to understand, to communicate directly with the person who matters most, and to find solutions without turning every difficulty into public entertainment. Every battle you face in private becomes a foundation for resilience. Every hardship you overcome quietly becomes proof of endurance. Every tear shed behind closed doors becomes a testament to your love and strength. So when you face moments of tension, doubt, or conflict, resist the urge to share them with the world. Protect your relationship like a treasure that is too valuable to be scattered across other people's opinions. Work on it, nurture it, and address it with the person who truly matters, the one standing beside you in the journey. Because the woman who guards her relationship struggles is a woman who ensures that love grows on its own terms, in its own time, and with a strength that cannot be diminished by outsiders. And ultimately, the power of privacy is this: when a relationship is handled with discretion, it matures with dignity, endures with resilience, and shines with authenticity. A woman who protects her bond ensures that what she and her partner build is untouchable, unshakable, and everlasting. There is a unique kind of power in silence. The kind that isn't loud, isn't flashy, and isn't desperate for attention. And one of the most important things a woman should always hide is her next move, her plans, her strategies, her intentions. Because when you reveal what you are about to do, you give others a chance to influence, interfere, or even sabotage the very life you're building. The world is filled with people who will smile at your ideas, nod at your vision, and then quietly work to undermine it. And if you are careless with your plans, you make it easy for them. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "I had a plan, but then I told the wrong person"? Once your next move is shared, it's no longer yours alone. Opinions flood in, doubts creep in, and suddenly the excitement you once felt turns into hesitation. People who should be cheering you on can unconsciously or intentionally hold you back. And the sad truth is, they don't even realize they're doing it. But when you keep your steps hidden, you create a space where your vision can grow, untainted by interference or distraction. There's a certain wisdom in waiting. Waiting until the work is done, until the goal is achieved, until the results speak louder than your announcements. When you move in silence, people don't have time to doubt you. They don't have the chance to underestimate you. They can't influence the outcome because they don't know what you're capable of yet. And that's a kind of strength that is rare, powerful, and unshakable. Keeping your next move hidden isn't about being secretive for the sake of secrecy. It's about strategy. It's about understanding that the right timing, the right approach, and the right execution matter more than public validation or approval. A woman who plans in private ensures that every step is deliberate, every decision calculated, and every action aligned with her true goals. She is not moved by opinion, swayed by doubt, or distracted by judgment. She acts with precision, confidence, and purpose. Consider this: the world is full of voices, full of critics, full of people who claim to know what is best for you. Some will try to convince you to change your path. Others will attempt to slow your progress with their skepticism, and a few will quietly hope you fail. By revealing your plans too early, you allow them access to the blueprint of your life, giving them opportunities to interfere before you even take the first step. But when your plans are kept close, they remain yours to shape, nurture, and execute exactly as you intend. There is also freedom in privacy. When no one knows your next move, you are free to pivot, adapt, and grow without feeling the pressure of external expectations. You can take risks, make mistakes, and learn without scrutiny. Your decisions are authentic because they are based on your vision, your timing, and your values, not on the reactions, approvals, or criticisms of others. This freedom is a form of power, a force that fuels confidence and resilience. And the beauty of hidden plans is that when they finally reveal themselves, they hit with impact. People are surprised, inspired, and even in awe, not because you made noise, but because you made results. Your work speaks before you do, and your success cannot be diluted by speculation or advice. Every quiet move you make becomes a statement, every unseen step becomes proof of your determination, and every goal achieved in privacy becomes a testament to your strength. So, when you feel the urge to announce your next move, pause. Remember that timing, discretion, and strategy are your allies. Protect your plans. Guard your intentions. Let your results, not your words, create the momentum and recognition you deserve. Because a woman who moves silently is a woman who cannot be predicted, controlled, or diminished. She is unstoppable, resilient, and untouchable. In the end, there is a rare power in keeping your next move hidden. It is the power to act without interference, to grow without judgment, and to achieve without distraction. A woman who masters this is not just strategic, she is unstoppable, and when the world finally sees what she has accomplished, they will understand one undeniable truth. Her strength was never in the noise she made, but in the quiet, deliberate, and unstoppable force of her hidden moves.